Hi guys, I'm back with another Valentine's Day card, and today I'm using this digital stamp from tiddlyinks.com. I'll put a link in the description box below as well as on my blog. And this little image is called Mad About You. It's a little Mad Hatter, and I've got 3 of them that I'm going to be using today. I'm not going to color the entire image. You can see here I've actually cut off some of him. He is an entire image from head to toe, but I just cut off certain portion of him when I printed him off, so I won't even be coloring all the way down on this part that I've printed out, but I'm coloring up the skin right now. I always use the colors light peach, peach, which is what I'm using now, and then I am also going to go in with the color burnt ochre. That's what I'm using here. And these are just for the darkest shadows. I find it blends nicely with the other 2 colors. These are the colors that I always use for skin. So if any of you were wondering, those are the colors that I use. And I'm just blending all of that out. And he's got some nice shading going on. Then I'm using carmine red. And this is the color that I like to use for cheeks, for blush. And when you color it on, it may look a little dark, but once you blend it out, it looks very nice and natural. And for this little guy, I'm making his hair pink. I figure he's a Mad Hatter and he can get away with pink hair. So this is just the color pink. And you can see I'm not coloring there in the middle. That's because that's where I want kind of his highlight to be. That's where I left the lightest part in his face, was in the center. So I'm doing the same with his hair, and I'm just blending that out, and then I'm going to go back in with the same color, just a little bit more pressure this time to get a darker color, and then I'm going to blend that out again. You can really get a lot of different shades with the same pencil crayon when you use Prismas, so I really like doing that. And then I'm going to go in with a red, and I believe this is crimson red, and I'm going to color the little band in his hat and his little bow tie, leaving the center parts white again because I want it to look as if the light source is front and center straight at him. So anything in the middle is going to be brighter and have that kind of light casting on it. So just coloring that in, and I forgot his little tie on this 3rd little guy, so just color that in really quickly. And then I'm gonna go in with my my beige, and just really lightly go around the edges of the little card in his hat. And this is just so it's not, you know, straight white. I just wanted to add a tiny bit of color, and just blending that out again, and later on, after I give that time to dry, I will write his little numbers in there. So now I've just got the black Prismacolor, and going in again, leaving the center of his hat white. I will blend in towards that and kind of create different shades by doing that. And I'm just going to show you how I color this first little guy's hat, because it does take a little more time to color this because it's a larger section of the stamp. So I'm just going to color this guy in, and then I'll do the rest off camera. So I'm just starting from the outside and kind of working my way in, blending it out, and it will get lighter as you blend in, which creates some nice shading and blends into the white highlight that I'm going to leave much nicer. So like I said, I'm doing this on camera, but I did end up going over this a second time just to get a nice rich black color. So here you can see I've colored all of my little guys, and I've cut them out with the Spellbinders wonky squares. And I've also cut out these 3 pink pieces of paper also, and they're the same size, but I'm going to adhere them just a little bit off so that you can kind of see the pink peeking behind my little Mad Hatters here. I really like this wonky squares nestability for images like this, like Alice in Wonderland, and just more whimsical images. So I've done that, and then I've got this paper. I believe it's from SEI. It's a Christmas paper, and again, this is kind of a go-to paper for anything Alice in Wonderland. And then I got this red paper, and while I was putting that ATG, I was thinking I should have used the red rose paper, but that's okay. I just went ahead and went with just the plain red. And that paper is from the Yours Truly paper pad, 6x6 paper pad from Echo Park. I'm just backed both of those with some black cardstock from Paper Tray ink. And then this one I'm going to stamp with this Distressed Hearts stamp. This is from Unity Stamp Company. And I'm just using Versamark, so it's a very subtle background. I just didn't want it to be completely plain, even though I'll be covering most of it up later on anyways. I just like a little bit more texture to it. So went ahead and did that. And then I've got my card base that I'm going to be placing all of this on. I've got this pink strip of paper that I'm going to lay across this little swirl paper. Just snip off the end. And then I've got my sentiment. It says Mad About You. This is from the Greeting Farms Creeper Crew stamp set. And so I've cut it out with a nestability. I believe it's labels 2 or labels 4, I can't remember. And I'm just outlining it with a red marker just to kind of make it stand out a little bit. And then it still wasn't quite popping out as much as I wanted it to, so I went ahead and colored in the holes that are in these little letters here, just to add a little more color down to there. So then I'm just going to grab some foam tape, snip off a little bit, and put that on the back, and then I'm going to put that right down on top of that pink strip. Then I'm going to take my scissors here. I don't have a piercing tool, so I'm just going to use the tip of my scissors to create some little holes. I'm going to be putting some black brads in the center there. Just making my holes a little bit bigger. And then I've got these brads. These are actually a Halloween set of brads from We Are Memory Keepers, but they're just basically black glitter brads. I'm just going to stick those in, and I ended up fighting with it quite a bit. These brads, the prongs on them aren't very sturdy, so they just kept bending, so I just decided to cut that out of the video. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my little Mad Hatter pieces on some dimensional adhesive as well. And just a little square, and then I'm going to line them up. Here's where I remembered to write in his little 10-6 numbers. It's kind of nice that this Digi-Stamp doesn't have that already in there, so you could put something, whatever you wanted in there, but I decided to go with the traditional 10-6 numbers. So I'm just going to place these on here until I get the placement exactly how I want it, and then I'll go ahead and put them down. So you'll just see me adjusting them just a little bit here. And you can see I cut them out all a little bit differently. Some of them kind of have him more off to the right or the left, or more center, or higher or lower, just to add some interest to the card so they're not all the same. So I'm going to adhere that swirly paper with my sentiment onto the bottom of the card. And I am leaving a little bit of a white border around the entire card. And then I'll put my little Mad Hatter piece on top of that, and it sits just inside that swirl paper. So, and also has the white border. And then I've got this little piece. It's another of the wonky squares nestabilities, and I'm kind of outlining it a little bit here with the pink marker. This is Stampin' Up's, I can't remember the name of it. Pink Pirouette or something like that, I can't remember. And then I've got this red piece. I'm just going to adhere this onto the inside. of the card with a little white border around. And then I've got another piece of the swirl paper that I've backed with some black cardstock that I'll stick at the bottom. And then I will go ahead and take that wonky square and just stick that in the center for the sentiment. And that's our card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, I did end up deciding to add some stickles to it. It just didn't look finished to me, so I just decided to outline all of these little squares with some diamond stickles. Again, this is my favorite stickles. I use it all the time. So I just decided to go ahead and outline it. And I'm not too worried if it gets on the pink paper in the background. It doesn't really bother me. But this just adds a little bit of glitter. For me, anytime you're doing a Valentine's Day card or a Christmas card, glitter is just like a must-have. So I just had to add it. So I went ahead and added it there, and then I decided to go ahead and add it on the inside of those letters where I did the red coloring also. So that's it for the card today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!